you don't want to give the Warriors life in a single game. You don't want to give them life in a postseason. Now the Rockets may. We'll see. You have to pay the price for the fact that the Warriors just got past this Grizzlies team. They had put them away. Give Memphis credit for the comeback, for making a game of it. This is a Grizzlies team. It's a pretty good basketball team. Kind of like that Clippers-Warriors game that ended the regular season. This wasn't an easy task for Golden State. And the answer to your question, Madeline, is Steph Curry, one of the best players in the history of the game, and it certainly helps to have Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy, playing alongside him to free him up a little bit and just offer a little support, a little co-excellence in this game.
Yeah, that's it right there, right? I mean, the fact that they had both of these guys, playoff Jimmy, play-in Jimmy, was cooking early. He had a season-high 38. It was also the most points that he's scored since joining the Warriors. And then late, as Madeline mentioned, all of a sudden here comes Steph Curry. And what are you supposed to do with that 1-2 punch? That's what makes this Golden State Warriors team so dangerous, and what really changed the complexion for this team and their fortunes during the season when they were under 500, when they got Jimmy Butler. They were the 11th seed. They end up in the 7th seed. They didn't want to be in the play-in. Tonight wasn't an easy game for them by any stretch. But, man, if I'm the Houston Rockets, yeah, I feel good about getting that 2 seed. I don't feel good about all of a sudden Golden State coming in to play me. I'm going to guess that they were probably rooting for the Grizzlies tonight, especially after John Morant rolled that ankle a little bit. That's going to be a really great series.
Yeah, I mean, the tandem of Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler, right? Steph putting up 37, Jimmy getting 38. That is, you got to think what this front office was looking for when they paired these two up. But this wasn't an easy one for the Warriors. I mean, they were up by as many as 20. Memphis came back and made this one a ball game late. So, yes, Golden State goes on to face Houston, and they are minus 200 in that series as a favorite. But the fact that they had to work this hard to get there, and they are a little banged up, John, are you at all worried about the state of the Warriors right now?
Worried, no, but I think that they have talked about, and Steve Kerr has talked about, the team being tired and how they've been playing playoff games essentially for the last 2 months because, again, they were underwater when they got Jimmy Butler at the trade deadline, and they had to do a lot of work to go from outside the play-in into just having on that final day against the Clippers, even though they lost that game, a chance to be in the playoffs proper. Now they know they're in the playoffs. They're going to play the Houston Rockets. And here's the thing. Yeah, they're tired. Yeah, they're a little banged up, but they have something that the Rockets don't have going into the postseason, and that is a ton of experience. The Rockets are a really good team. Bill knows that I've been on them, not just this year, but for the last 2 years. But this is a team that hasn't been in the postseason, and it's a totally different animal, and now they're going to experience it against a team that has Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green, who have been there and done that.
Right, you mentioned it's not a team with a lot of experience, right? The Rockets seem to be rebuilding for quite a while, and now suddenly they are rebuilt, facing a Warriors team with quite a bit of postseason experience. So, Bill, when you look at this matchup early, what's your assessment?
My assessment is the kiss of death for the Warriors because I think they're going to win the series, and we've seen how bad it's gone for the last 24 hours. John knows. All right, so yeah, John has been the Rockets are one of the 4 or 5 sort of young teams that John is in love with, and Madeline, they're always young, they're always dynamic, and they always struggle offensively, and that is sort of the Rockets thing a little bit. They're a great basketball team, and it's going to be an incredible series. I love the path for the Warriors, and this was a huge gamble to get here. They obviously could have lost this game to Memphis. They almost did, but where we are is, yes, they're playing a 2 seed, but they avoid the Thunder, the Warriors, for the entirety of the bracket. They have, I think, maybe the easiest matchup, and maybe that's disrespectful to Houston, but the takeaway for me in this Memphis game is there are no easy series. There are no easy games. There's only 5 teams in the NBA, 3 in the Western Conference, who are top 10 in offensive and defensive rating. One of them is the Memphis Grizzlies, who are going to the 8 seed game on Friday and may not even make the playoffs. So yeah, this is a really difficult series for the Warriors and playing the Rockets, but I think every game is going to be difficult. Every series is difficult. That's how deep the Western Conference is. And what John just said, the lack of postseason experience for this Rockets team, the fact they haven't been there and done that, as John said, the way the Warriors have, the fact the Warriors have this Stephen Curry guy and this Draymond Green guy, now this Jimmy Butler guy, I think it's a great matchup for Golden State in the context of there are no good matchups for any of the teams in the Western Conference that are playing the first round of the playoffs unless, I'm sorry, Dallas or Sacramento, one of those teams beat Memphis on Friday.
Right. Well, and you mentioned Dallas, Sacramento facing Memphis. The Grizzlies coming off a hard-fought one. As we mentioned, they fought their way back into this one, down 20, made it interesting. But the biggest headline coming out of this game is John Morant rolled his ankle in the 3rd quarter. Looked like he almost couldn't walk for a bit there, fought through it, got back into this game. Bill, are you at all worried about John Morant as Memphis has to take on the winner between the Mavericks and the Kings for a shot at the 8 seed?
I'm worried about John Morant when he walks into the arena. So when he goes up and down and lands on somebody's left foot and rolls his ankle, I'm extraordinarily concerned. Look, I've already said how much I think this Memphis team, in certain aspects, have the ability to go really, really deep. Desmond Bane is amazing. Triple J was great, but the conundrum for this team has always been: can John Morant stay healthy? I think on the broadcast, Madeline, John, that they put it this way: can he finish the race? And the answer is usually no, he can't. So I'm very worried. He gutted it out. There's a lot of adrenaline there. There's a tough competitor. He played great even when he came back, hit some huge shots. But there's absolutely reason to be concerned that John Morant, A, may be banged up to a degree on Friday that it impacts his play, and B, this is a thing that happens and a pattern that happens, and you don't root for it, but it's not surprising when he gets hurt in these games.
Yeah, on the positive note, Desmond Bane played great while Ja was out, and also Ja came back, so that's encouraging, right? He didn't look like he was quite himself. He was hobbling a little bit, but he still got some lift on his jump shots. But yeah, Bill is absolutely right. Of course you're worried about Ja Morant going into this next game, because it's either win or go home, and if it's go home for the Grizzlies, that is an absolutely disastrous outcome for a team that spent much of the regular season in the top 4 in a loaded Western Conference, and then all of a sudden towards the back end of the season, they weren't playing well. They started to scuffle a little bit. They end up firing Taylor Jenkins. Now you're thinking, oh man, is John Morant going to be completely ready for this thing? The way that he plays, Bill is right. He's so athletic and so dynamic that even when he's healthy, you kind of hold your breath every time he goes to the rim. So yeah, that's something to be concerned about going into this game. Whoever comes out of Kings Dallas is going to have a puncher's chance, because John Morant might not be healthy.
It's going to be a tough one for sure, but we got lots more basketball to watch. Bill Ryder, John Gonzalez shoot around today. An injury that he admits has affected his shooting a little bit. Does it continue to, though, or are you going over or under on Steph's points tonight?
I'm not making this bet. Okay, so I'm not advising anyone else to do this. I was asked to do this by our producer, Lucas, and I have a job that I get paid $68,000 a year and then benefits. So I'm going to answer the question, okay? And the question is going to be under, okay? I'm just going to say under because it's Steph Curry. It's overvalued, right? Who wakes up on a Tuesday morning? He's like, oh, you know what I'm going to play today? Steph Curry under. If you bet that, you are a geek and a loser, and you are asking for it. I'm asking for it. I think that they're going to run 2 guys at him. I always try to put myself in the other locker room, right? Look at his stats. He had 52 last game. Like, I'm going to say this. I'm going to let someone else beat me. Maybe he's guarding Podziemski. I'm going to go double Steph Curry. And if he's running off the screen, I'm going to send 2 guys for him. And if Podziemski makes 5 threes, Moses Moody, we lose the game. I am not letting Steph Curry beat me, but I am not playing this bet, Bill. I'm going to go under this one for Steph Curry.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Let's pivot to the Grizzlies, shall we? At one point this season, Memphis was the 2 seed in the West. They've since fired head coach Taylor Jenkins. They're now at an 8 seed battling for a play-in spot. So, Bill, where do the Grizzlies stand entering the playoffs?
Look, this is the last team on the list that I think can make a deep run, but they're really good. So traditionally, if you're in the top 10 in offense and defensive rating, you have a chance at an NBA championship. All but I think it's 5 NBA champions in the last 35 years have been top 10 in both. The Grizzlies are top 10 in both. They have the 6th best offense. They have the 10th best defense. They have a superstar in John Morant. Oh, by the way, I think Triple J might be their best performer this year when he's been out on the floor. Firing Taylor Jenkins, probably not the world's best move, but it's been a bizarre upside down kind of NBA season anyway, from the Luka Doncic trade to what's going on with the Denver Nuggets to obviously Jenkins being fired. I don't buy it as much as I do the Warriors or the Clippers or the Nuggets or the Lakers or the Timberwolves. All those teams can make the conference finals. I know somebody exactly for Thunder, and Tim, it sounds like you are Thunder against the field. I might skew a little bit field against the Thunder. I would put Memphis on that list of teams that can make the conference finals at the very, very end, because you said it. You don't know what they're going to get. I don't know how Ja's going to play. Is he going to be durable over the course of a series? But in one game, I mean, they can beat the Warriors in one game. The Warriors have never won a play-in game, and if they do, and they can kind of figure out some of their drama, they're not the favorite in any series they play in for me, but they're still a really dangerous.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng. Vòng hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là tôm sú. Mọi người, hôm nay vòng của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là
một video cho nó hiện ra cái tại
tôm biển. Bây giờ mình bắt đầu làm nhé.
Đây thì cái tiếng Việt nó ghi là cái nào nó chỉ là bài để chơi ra một bộ phim ngủ để view cần lắm, nhưng sau đấy phim 18 cộng với phim của kiểu đồng tính rồi, sao anh không làm được cái view mấy trăm cả view mà kinh lắm, nhưng bây giờ anh không nhớ là cái bộ phim đấy nữa. Cái hồi đấy view càng đáng càng đét luôn, kinh đấy té phát ra bao tiền luôn.
Em xem ở đây các nhà nó ghi là nổi bật hay là năm lên view
Nhiều lắm rồi, mấy cái chịu khó.
mấy cái anime này anh không dùng không chơi không được đấy.
Anime
Không hay. Nhưng mà em thấy cái này không được của anh mấy.
Này, cái này test được rồi, cái này bị bản quyền đấy, cái này view cũng cần. Tìm cái khác, tìm những cái đấy tìm rồi thôi, tìm cái khác.
Nữa màu trắng đây, màu trắng đây nhá.
Những cái
Cái mà kiểu giải thích anh, giải thích về lịch sử đấy.
có nhiều lắm cái tìm nhiều và tìm một ngày tìm nhiều và đăng